Went the wrong way.
Okay, flip the, on top of this, where the socket is, there's a little.
This thing?
Yep, turn it. Yep, there you go. Okay. It should just pop out. Let me pick it up. Let me pick it up. Let me pick it up.
Oh, got it. Yet again, and I am not as tall as you.
That's good. We're going to put an engine in this 2019 Hyundai Tucson. We diagnosed it in a previous video. It had a dead miss and smoked like a freight train. Yeah, this is what happens. It's been running for, what, 2 minutes? There is a hole in the number 2 piston. Well, I don't think a spark plug is going to fix this problem. So that right there looks like a big hole in the piston. Before we do that though, I want to address some of the comments from the first video. I love reading the comments. I think we have one of the best comment sections on YouTube, but sometimes you guys get a little too optimistic, or maybe I'm a little too pessimistic. I don't know, but it ain't my first rodeo, and I like to be honest, so let me share the reality. A lot of people said this would be covered by a warranty. Obviously, since I'm doing the job, it was not covered by warranty. The warranty covers the 2017, doesn't cover the 2019. Used engines are very expensive. The one we bought cost $5,300, and I got a lot of comments saying that that was crazy. I totally agree. I can't do anything about that cost. But a lot of people said, why don't you just buy a reman engine from the dealership? It's probably cheaper. Some of you had the price all the way down to $2,500 for a long block. So I called the dealership. A reman engine costs $6,700. But the big problem is you can't get one. They don't exist. They don't even have a lead time. We have no idea when we could get one, which probably means that there is a pending warranty problem with these cars, and all the dealerships are sucking up all the engines to replace them, and eventually it's going to be covered. It just hasn't gotten there yet. The other comment I got was, why don't we just fix the engine, tear it apart, replace the piston, or rebuild it, or whatever? If this was my car, 100% that is what I would do. The problem is it's a customer's car, and a catastrophic failure like a hole in a piston doesn't just happen by itself. In my experience, there's always something else that goes along with that. So if we tear the engine apart, we're probably going to find that there's a bad rod bearing, or a bad wrist pin bushing, or a valve that's bent, or there's going to be some catastrophic damage to the bottom side of the head. Something else will be damaged, I guarantee it. And then we have to get a machine shop involved. And there's only 2 kinds of machine shops, at least in my area. There's the good machine shop that can do anything. They can grind crankshafts, they can weld up blocks, they can do it all. But if I take parts there, I will not see them for 6 months. And I know that because I've done that. The other type of machine shop is the mom and pop backyard machine shop. They can't do as much, but they are a little faster and a little cheaper, but they only want to work on pushrod V8 engines. And they've got enough of that work to keep them busy. They're just not interested in working on this kind of stuff. There isn't a machine shop in our area where you can walk in with overhead cam aluminum block parts, have them machined in a reasonable time at a reasonable cost. It's not possible here. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. We're going to put a used engine in it, and we're going to hope for the best. He told me that it burns a lot of oil. I don't know if the new replacement engine is going to be the same or not. Hopefully not, but yeah. I didn't spill it. Did you spill it?
No.
It's okay. We only spilled most of it. We're on the lift backwards, and I pulled off the hood. That's so I can reach the engine with the crane, because I want to pull it out the top. And if you read the service manual, or I'm sure the entire comment section, they will tell you to drop the engine, transmission, cradle, front suspension, the whole thing out the bottom. And they will argue till they're blue in the face that that is faster and better. In my experience, it's pretty much a wash. And I prefer to come out the top if I can, especially on a 4-cylinder engine where there's lots of room to work, lots of room to get the thing out, because the less I can mess with that cradle, the better. If I take the bolts loose, we're going to have an alignment. And I can't do that myself, so they got to take it somewhere else. It's an additional cost and time for the customer. Also, where I live, there's rust. And this car is pretty clean. It's only, 4 years old. But I've had several bad experiences taking out the cradle bolts and having the nuts spin inside the subframe, or even worse, tear off the part of the subframe or break the bolts. Then you got to go in and weld in patches, and it takes a lot of time, and it is not fun. So we'll try it. If it doesn't work, we'll go out the bottom. Uh-oh. The battery is totally spanked. So we gotta have a new one of those. Really? Alright. Are we seeing the problem? Rodents. Well, that's gone forever. Okay, now we just need to kind of peel this wiring harness off. Aw, really? There we go. This whole thing should just kind of peel off. Like so. Okay. Don't lose that. Really? Let's work on the bottom side for a bit. I'll tell you what, there's a pile of bolts in this undercover, but it's probably the first one I've ever seen that wasn't all torn up, broken. Still got all the fasteners. I think I found mouse nest number 2. Must be his summer home. Where's Max when you need him? Sleeping on the job. The AC compressor's got to come off. Well, they don't make that easy to do they? To get a wrench for that one. Should be converter bolts behind this little cover. Kind of a weird setup. It looks like the ring gear is on the torque converter and there really is no flex plate, just this little spider. Okay, now very important in our climate, push the converter back. There it goes. The tendency is for the pilot to get frozen in the end of the crankshaft. The problem is when you go to pull the engine off the transmission bell housing, the converter will come with it, and then you're kind of screwed because the converter will stop the engine from sliding up. Just happened to walk by and I heard a hissing sound. That's not good. Not good at all. I don't know if I have a shutoff. Okay. Well, we're going to be without water until I can get that fixed. I don't know how that happened. This is insulated space. The heat's been on. I don't know. Maybe it just got too cold. Oh, I think there's a bracket down there that's got to come loose. I kind of think we're done on the bottom side. I pulled the compressor, the starter, this front wiring harness, the flex plate bolts, the bell housing bolts, and the exhaust is also loose. This drive shaft does not have a dummy shaft that connects to the engine, so we don't have to worry about that. That's kind of cool. I don't know, I don't want to jinx myself, but so far this is going pretty easy. I love stuff like this. You know what that's for? It's basically a tuning weight. So there was some frequency of vibration that they didn't like, and instead of redesigning the bracket, they just added a weight to it. Kind of like shortening a tuning fork. Okay, that side's free. A couple of bell housing bolts and we should be able to extract. That was pretty easy. Like almost too easy. Huh. Supposedly this engine has 75,000 miles. It's out of a 2020. Looks the same to me. I did go ahead and put some anti-seize on the exhaust studs and the alignment dowels and a little bit on the pilot of the torque converter, just to make it a little easier for the next guy, because I'm almost 100% confident that this engine will also fail eventually. They don't seem to be very well designed. I think we've got a problem here. This little post is broken off for the engine cover. That's not a big deal, but it looks like this hard line, the bracket is bent, and it looks to me like it bashed into the intake manifold and maybe broke it. But my suspicion is confirmed. That's not good. So I guess we better swap the intake manifold off the other engine. That one's broken too. That's got to be my fault. Well, we can fix that. I think we're ready. My repair looks extremely professional. Got it tied up with some wire. It'll take 24 hours or more for that epoxy to cure. It's pretty cold today. Let's put it in. I think that's it. We're lined up. One of the bolts is tight. I don't know, this is going too easy. It's making me very nervous. Spin on a new oil filter. Okay. Everything's bolted up, put back in place, plugged in. We should be done on the bottom side for right now. Nothing to it, it's pretty much just the opposite of taking it apart. We're getting pretty close. We need to untangle the spaghetti. Lots of satisfying clicks. Couple of hoses and we're pretty much there. Tell you what, I don't know how I ever lived without a skid steer. This thing is the handiest machine for plowing snow. It's been getting a workout too. I charged the battery for a way long time. Let's see how bad it is. I got a feeling it's pretty bad, but you never know. Okay, that's a, 600 cold cranking amps, so we need to turn this to 300. Count to 15. I don't know, that's not too bad. Stuck around 9 volts. It's pretty cold today. Maybe we don't need a battery. Well, I'll charge it a little more and we'll stick it back in. We've got coolant, we've got oil, we've got a battery. I think we're ready for the moment of truth. Okay, here we go. It's probably going to smoke quite a bit until it burns all the oil out of the converter. Let's see what she does. Sounds pretty good. Cool. Like I said, a little smoky. With the hole in the piston, it turned the number 2 cylinder into an oil pump, and I'm sure the converter and the whole muffler, whole exhaust system is full of oil. So, yeah, better open the door. We're charging. I did forget one hose. I think it was for the purge valve. Engine runs good. Smoke seems to have cleared up. I think we're good to go.
I'm psyching myself up. I know it's not heavy, but it's above my head.
No lights so far. Looks like a nice sunny day, but it is pretty awful. 7 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds about 30 miles an hour. Driving conditions really aren't very good. This thing's got pretty much bald tires, so we're gonna take it easy. It's running good so far. There you go, 6 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's about somewhere between minus 15 and minus 20 Celsius. It's supposed to be minus 14 Fahrenheit tonight, which is what, I don't know, minus 25 Celsius or something. There's a snow rainbow. Kind of cool. We're down to 3 degrees, which is not cool. Car's running good. The only problem I have currently is there's no heat. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Must be a lucky snow rainbow, because now we have heat. Probably a bubble in the coolant. Kind of hope we get a break in the snow. I'm running out of places to put it. That's what we want to see. I think we're done. That wasn't too bad. I would almost say that was pretty easy. That might be one of the easiest front-wheel drive engine swaps I've done, at least on a modern car. It's kind of baffling that it's going to cost almost $7,000, but I guess that's just the new reality. Yeah, thanks for watching. There is one little wrinkle that might cause me to lose a little sleep. I was cleaning up under the car and I found this. It is a section of a wiring harness with 2 wires that has been cleanly nibbled on both ends. And I looked high and low. I could not find any damage to the wiring harness on this car. So I don't know if that came from somewhere else or if it came from something that I just didn't find. But yeah, our friends the rodents got another one. It sucks that the pipe broke and we had a leak, but there's actually a lot of good news here. The bottom pipe is the hot water pipe. It runs up the wall and comes out right here where I've already capped it off. I think the spigot sprung a leak last year. I never used that, so we should be able to just disable it. It's also super lucky that the pipe broke during the day while I was working. Plus, it's an exposed pipe. It's not buried in a wall or up in an attic or basement. Should be a pretty easy fix. Don't cut the good one, Wes. It's useless. Let it leak. There we go. Well, I'm no plumber, but I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to have ice in your pipes. Yeah, there's your problem right there. Unbelievable. I mean, it's inside insulated space that's heated 24 hours a day, and it still froze. I guess it's been pretty cold outside. Oh boy. My PVC cement has gone from liquid to solid. And that's not very good. I think I got some other. Alright. Got some new cement. It's much more liquid. Wouldn't be a proper DIY project without at least 2 trips to the hardware store. Okay. Let that set. 2 hours to cure. Time has passed. Let's crack it open and see if it leaks. I don't see any drips. There we go. A quick amputation and we're back in business. Yeah, this setup works, but just barely. The water system is super sketchy. So this is the pump. I have to keep the fan shroud off so I can manually kick the motor over, because if it doesn't run for more than 24 hours, the pump locks up. Yeah. There's nothing even remotely up to code about that setup. Or the electrical, for that matter. And they probably shouldn't be right next to each other. But,
I'm on like day 4 of snow. I'm over it.
we're all over it. All over it. Who needs a coat? It's only -4.
This is for a trial.
Outside.
missing?
Yeah, I don't know where he is. Wonder if he went inside.
It's very cold today. Very, very cold.
Are you ready?
Ready?
Go.
The snow pile was 3 Volkswagens tall. It settled a little bit. It's only about 2.5 Volkswagens tall.
Yeah, there's been one.
Da, da, da.